Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. We want to begin with an alarming spike in COVID cases across America as we head into the holiday season. More than 150,000 new infections were reported on Monday. That is the most in 2 months. Cases are rising in nearly half the country, with the U.S. seeing a jump of more than 30% in recent weeks. The Midwest and Northeast are among the regions seeing those spikes. Now, public health officials are growing concerned about weakening immunity from that first round of COVID vaccinations, and they're looking to booster shots for added protection. There are now a growing number of cities and states that are getting ahead of the federal officials, and those have begun recommending boosters for all adults. And in another major development tonight, Americans infected with COVID could soon treat themselves at home with an experimental pill from Pfizer. Lots to cover, and CBS's Nikki Battiste is going to lead off our coverage tonight from New York City. Good evening, Nikki.
Norah, good evening. Pfizer asked the FDA today to authorize its pill, currently intended to treat unvaccinated people with COVID-19 who are high risk. The drug is meant to be distributed at pharmacies and taken at home over 5 days. Pfizer says its antiviral pill would treat mild to moderate COVID in patients with increased risk of hospitalization or death. If given within 3 days of symptoms, it was shown to reduce severe outcomes by 89%. As cases rise in just under half the country, some states aren't waiting for the federal government to expand access to booster shots for all adults. At least 7 are doing it on their own.
A booster isn't a luxury. A booster isn't an add-on.
Current federal guidance recommends boosters only for those 65 and older or people at high risk 6 months after Pfizer or Moderna vaccination. So far, just over 16% of adults have gotten a booster.
So the states are jumping the gun somewhat. We've collected new data now showing the importance of third immunization, and the states are able to be a little bit more nimble and move faster.
Cases are rising in more than 20 states, and pediatric cases are up 22% compared to 2 weeks ago.
And if we go into the winter, we're at 70,000 cases per day. You're going to start seeing breakthrough infections, even more so than we see now, among the vaccinated.
That's what happened at the Gear Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Connecticut, where a COVID outbreak led to 8 deaths. 89 residents and staff were infected, and all but 2 were vaccinated. Still, there's some pushback against vaccine requirements. South Carolina and 11 other states are suing to block the Biden administration from implementing a federal vaccine mandate for healthcare workers, calling it unlawful. Pfizer's booster for all adults could be available as early as this weekend, making tens of millions more Americans eligible for an additional shot. Norah?
That is some big news. All right, Nikki Battiste, thank you.